My name is Jacob Fishman, and this is my second converted bus, and his name is Hiro. The idea behind the name Hiro was, in Japanese, the term is called second son, and since I have Peachy, my first child, my first baby girl, now I have my second son, Hiro. Hiro is a 1989 Toyota Coaster, and back in Japan it was served as an ambulance truck. The person that I purchased it from, he assumed that this vehicle was used as a PR attempt when the 911 service in Japan started. And in Japan, it's actually 119. It just sat in a person's warehouse, probably like a rich government official's warehouse, until the first owner purchased it from the Japanese market and brought it to America. So originally, the mechanism to bring the stage down was manual, but what we wanted to do is we wanted to make it all automated. So now I have this remote that can just bring it down. So here are the two legs, the original legs to it. So now at this point, I just So the stage is amazing. As you can see, we can put a whole band on here. You can jump on it, it's really sturdy, and it's pretty heavy in itself. So you can have a lot of equipment and stuff on this actual stage and nothing were to happen. When we were building it out, we wanted all of the power and water to be back here, so then at any time during my travels, something were to break, we can open it back here and it'd be super easy to work on it. The solar panel is 660 watts. So we have the solar charge controller here, all of the batteries that I got, the water tanks back here too, and then right here is our shower. So even though it's still a work in progress, the idea is to make this my whole shower and to get button fabrics that can just button across all of the doors, so then I can have a fully enclosed shower. And this is also the attachment. You just plug the hose right in and fill it up. This is a work in progress as well. This is going to be a surf rack that comes down like this, but the idea is to have a bunch of boards to be able to stack. So a really interesting part is that not only is it stick shift, but it's a right-hand driver, which is always the most interesting part about it. It's really fun. It took me a while to kind of learn how to shift with my left hand, because usually it's always on your right. One of the coolest parts about this is the curving windshield. It's kind of a cool part and also a really bad part as well, because if anything were to make this windshield break, I don't know where I'd find another one. The front of the bus is pretty much almost all original with the original seats. They were plastic and still in really amazing condition. There were just way too many seats. It seated about 7 to 8 people. So we had 3 people in the front, and right here used to be another couch that would fit 2 more people. So the dinette table is really cool. We had a choice whether to go with like standard butcher block, but we decided to epoxy the actual table, which is really cool because all we did was just take plywood, stain it, and put epoxy over it. It's really beautiful, really nice. And this also acts as the bridge between these 2 seats to make a bed. So for anyone that's my size and smaller, can perfectly fit in here, extend out sideways and sleep. So not only is this a bed, but we have 2 storage systems down here that are still being worked on. This bus doesn't have a lot of storage to begin with, so what we tried to do, every single component that we made for this bus had to have some sort of storage, just because we weren't working with a lot of space. So instead of basic wood, we decided to go with cedar, just because it's so thin and looks so beautiful when you stain it and then poly over it. If you look around, we put a lot of transitions of the aluminum on the furniture just to make everything, just to polish it off. And that small detail, that little extra effort, goes such a long way when you go to build some of these things out. So we installed lights. We installed various pairs of lights that are all controlled on their own switch on this switch panel here. So at night, you can either change the ambiance of everything by flicking off a couple lights but keeping some on, which is really cool. We have 2 touch screen. There's a light display that goes under the dinette to kind of just highlight the dinette. This is the kitchen area. We have a stove, which is really nice. This is really clean, simplistic. I didn't need more than 2. Well, the stove is propane. Here, the sink turned out to actually be really great. So we decided to do this setup. This is also epoxied as well. It's the same setup as we did with the table. Under here is all of the kitchen storage, so we're gonna put plates, everything like that. The question is still whether I wanna leave that exposed or not. The fridge is one of my favorite parts. It pulls out, so then there's no space that's actually taken away. So it doesn't rattle. We have a lock here that you just pull up, and then you pull this out. So this is a real RV fridge. The coolest aspect about this is that there's two pieces to it, and you can control the temperature on both. So if you wanted 2 freezers, you can make this a full freezer, or if you wanted 2 fridges, you can make it 2 full fridges. So this space was not going to be utilized until we came together and decided that, again, every single piece was going to matter in this bus. So this is still a work in progress, but this is going to be the storage area where we can put dishes, silverware, just another place to put. Great part about this is that it has a really strong AC system that was pretty much perfect when I bought it. So we ran AC ducts all through here, so when the car's on, it blasts back here all the way down. So it gets really cold, and especially with the insulation, on a hot summer day, it's like perfect after 7 minutes of running the car. We wanted to sleep as many people as possible, but still have kind of like an open floor plan. We didn't want to take up the whole back with a bed. We wanted to make it like a great lounging area just because of this unique part about this whole wall comes down. We want it to be like a more communal thing instead of just one bed. So what we did is we broke it up into 2 different areas. The main bed, which pushes out simply like this. This can sleep 2. So under here we have a storage unit, everything down here. And then we decided when we made the speaker system, we should make this into the subwoofer box too. So a third of this is where the subwoofer is, and the air blows out of this side. And then we thought it would be even cooler where we could sleep one person by putting a hinge system and connecting this whole bed. So now you have 2 people sleeping here, 1 person here, and then another person at the dinette table. So this is kind of like a storage system / little designer piece that we wanted to put in. So the plan is to turn this into a boutique that various companies can rent out and drive to the beach and have their clothing shop and post on Instagram, hey, we're going to be here for 3 hours, everyone come. They could set up shop. It takes 50 seconds to put down the stage and to get everything set up. And then when they're done for the day, they put it up and drive away. I definitely recommend it. It's a little bit more expensive and tedious than one person might think. It's a tough thing to do if you have a busy schedule. So it could be 6 months to a year before you actually get to enjoy it. Without the help of my friend, I would have never been able to do this my first time. Anything that grows your skill set in anything, whether it's socially or actually labor and making something, anything that can better yourself is worth it in the end. Just practice, practice, practice.